Oh shit. Here we go again.
Yo yo yo! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy badwiki. Before you even get to me, bro, I did cut my hair, dude. Like we back. I ain't finna do the reveal yet, but anyway, today's video is just gonna be short and simple. I mean, I just wanted to talk about 5 things that I took away from Google Developer Fest in Cape Town, 2024. Pretty insightful, but the first bad news, right, is I broke my headphones. I don't know if you can see it's like a bit uneven, but we make do with like some tape and just fixing things up. But anyway, the second bad news is that I actually didn't go to the whole event, which is like pretty scary. I got there when it was like not pep talk, but like I got there when they were giving like career advice and whatnot. And I'm like, thank you, but I came for the developer stuff, understanding what we actually doing, what we actually building. So without further ado, welcome back. Yes, sir. Different day, same mandate. Welcome back. It's that video that you was just introduced to. But as I said, different day, same mandate, new haircut. I'm looking good, bro. I won't lie. Like you could take me to your mom's house, bro. You could take this nigga out to dinner. I'm looking good. That kind of good. But irregardless, we're here to cover those 5 things I was talking about at the Google Developer Fest. I got there late. It was crazy. And before I even start this video, bro, shout out to you if you're watching this, man. 50 subscribers. 50, bro. 50's like a small house party. Bruh, 50's a lot of people. I barely get like 6 likes on Instagram. I'm not even on Instagram, but like, thank you. Thank you so much for your support. It's truly appreciated. Yeah, it's like a small channel doing big things, It's like there's levels. 2025 is my year. This channel's gonna grow. Trust me, trust me. I got some things in the vault, but what I wanted to cover today. So after going to GDG Google Developer Fest, I just had to make notes here on the side. So don't mind me if I like just venture off into like the unknown and like just talk about what I scripted here. I knew I said like it was an unscripted channel, but like it's growing, bro. It's growing, so it's like I have to be more careful with what I'm putting out here. So at Google Developer Fest, I think the biggest fundamentals that I took away from the whole thing is understanding that you cannot go to certain places without being knowledgeable about the thing that they're doing. It's like you're going to a Google Developer Fest, so you gotta be a programmer or a developer to actually enjoy. I mean, you could bring friends along, socialize, tag along, but ultimately, what we're trying to do is like expand our horizons, understand what is being brought to the table, and what is going into the future of a software developer. Understanding that they really diving into niche subjects, really concentrated like forms of information. So it's like even if you do know programming, there's certain things that they cover. Primarily, they were covering web development, mobile development, and AI. And in those spaces, it's kind of like with the AI, it's like linear regression, it's mathematical, it's statistical. So it's about understanding that there's a lot of overhead that goes into it. Like you could pull up, but like is you really there? And be open to learning about things because it's like they dropping gems that are like too heavy for you to carry at the moment. You know, it's like there's certain parts. I went to the one last year and I was there like, bruh, I get what you're saying, but I don't get what, like I couldn't do what they were doing like at all. Currently at my current level of development, it's like I'm decent, bro. I'm nice, but like there's people who are nice out here. So points that were raised. There were a couple talks by the like of Steve Peel and Gessa Marvin and other, let me not say characters, other people that were there speaking about building for quality and boosting your app game performance in the Play Store. Mr. Marvin had like provided a gentle introduction to RAG with LangChains for AI innovate. I don't even know what that means, but it's about understanding that at this current point that they're talking at, right? It's like you aren't even developing software anymore. It's about maintaining your code. It's about boosting what we've already solidified as our foundation. And the top 5 things that you are going to need as a developer in 2025, top 5, 20. It's a sign, bro. Five times five, you got a five times the output. But let me not vent out that. So as I've done my research about these topics, right? The general observation is that you need to be extremely competent at a high level with how development is conducted, because at some point we knowing how to better your like apps, better your games. It's like understanding that we're not dealing with the process of developing at the initial stages. So I'm really covering what tools you will need to make that next step. It's like you understand Java, cool. You understand Python, cool. You understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? But what is it from that point will you need to get into deeper waters and become a more solid developer? And as a Java developer myself, you pretty much cover the basics of like back end, because our like thing is like we like handling logic, we like thinking about the flow control, like setting up your while loop, setting up your conditions, being like, okay, if this is true, do this. If that is true, do that. So it's understanding how to handle interactions between components. That is our ultimate goal as developers at this current point. But now, a lot of people would be like, what's the next step? And I've been working on researching and just, playing around with like a framework called Spring Boot, which is like primarily made for the Java environment. I don't think they have Spring Boot for Python. But nonetheless, Spring Boot allows us to boot up more complex applications. And it's something known as convention over construction, which primarily means we're not even worried about like creating the objects. We worried about how we can scale up the application and like have many objects that we are using, which are handled by the Spring Boot itself. We don't have to say developer devs equal to new developer. No, that is handled completely by your application. You just need to say, I need a developer class that's going to be working with XYZ, so on and so on and so on. So from that point, understanding that we already have fundamentals in backend development, you would want to go into something like SQL. It's pretty clutch. SQL, we had a hell of an assignment, but like, no shade to my group members. I did it on my own. I loved every single minute of it. It was like grinding my gears in a good way, because it's like understanding what databases are allows you to build powerful application. It literally could be a system out print line application like enter name, surname, whatnot. But like for the fact that you're able to keep track of your information and store it for later use, super clutch. And then from that point on, it's like if you understand Java, moving into Spring Boot, understanding backend development with like a querying language, you're pretty much a solid backend developer. But like you cannot handle interactions. You can use a REST client. I'm not there. The channel is growing. Just bear with me. But like we could use other additional software that is going to test whether like your methods in your class are doing what they need to do outside of your current machine, like outside your local host 111. Yeah. And then that covers point number one, which is choosing a stack. I wish I did that intro earlier on, but that's point number one. And jumping into point number two is that we're learning how to network. At that event, bro, like I got so many LinkedIn connections. LinkedIn is like the Instagram for corporate baddies. Like, dude, you need to tap in and lock in, bro, because understanding how to use LinkedIn means understanding that you're taking yourself serious as a person, because you're marketing your skills. It's like you putting yourself out there saying, I am ready for employment. I am ready to, like whatever projects need people. It's like, here's my CV. Hi, I'm here. You could apply for jobs, but like LinkedIn gets clowned. It gets clowned on because it's like it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get a job if you apply, but the pressure that you place on yourself and building that portfolio will take you places, man. There's a lot of people on LinkedIn that I'm currently in contact with, and I just pray, man. Like it's all God at this point, but like I just pray that I get to a point where all these connections that I'm making are going to not serve my purpose. My purpose is not, there's God's purpose, and I'm just here like, yo, this is what, you know, just the messenger, but like the greater picture. It's not really about me as much as my ideas. But anyway, that covers point number two. Just gathering a sense of community in what you're doing is a really powerful tool. It can take you really far. And then point number three, right? mapping out your next steps. As I was making this script, I was like, bro, I love talk. I could just talk right here. But mapping out your steps is something that like requires you to understand what your goals and objectives are. Because you cannot do something without understanding what the value is in like the end, you know? Like personally, I play guitar, bro. Like I wasn't aiming on becoming a like professional guitarist, but my end goal was to be so confident in my skill that I can just play like and enjoy it. So even with development, it's like, what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to build apps and like venture out into a new business that is going to need your skills as a developer to be like, okay, we can take this software off the shelf, but like I know how to use APIs, I know how to extend the functionality of this program. So market yourself and understand what kind of market you catering to. Because even with this channel, it's like I'm catering to developers. I'm coming here to connect with you guys more than you are with me. So at this current point, you have to ask yourself like, understand your skill set and ask yourself how would you diversify what you have right now, which is just being a generalist. It's like, okay, on a general basis I'm good at one, two, three, but where is four and five, just adding on to that. Or being a specialist where it's like I have these three things about me are pretty good now, but investing time into that will really boost like your knowledge. Like you just more good at that one thing, which is a good and bad thing, because like if you're a generalist, you're good at everything but you're not the best at like one specific thing. But being like the boss at one thing and other area, like you decent. I prefer that, but it's honestly up to you because that's life, man. And then point number 4, finding a mentor. This is the at the GDG talks by Dylan Green and Philip Bob Juicy. You could look these people up on LinkedIn. I would implore you to. And I think the most important thing is understanding that mentors are here because it's like you need someone who won't give you answers but will listen to your questions to let you know what the possible answers might be. Because it's like if I just give you one answer and you run with it, that's okay. That's completely cool. But knowing how to do other things or one thing in other ways is really why we have mentors. I wish I had a mentor. At this current point, I'm a mentor to myself. I mean, at this current point, the game is the internet. Like, I love learning. I am passionate about just spending time on the internet, blah, 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 blah. Finding knowledge, interacting with those communities, as I said, like just learning how to network and finding people where you're like, this guy is doing something good, and just piggybacking off of that, but building your own little sauce on the side too. That's where the real play is. And then point number 5. This is my shortest video ever. I'm just gonna chop it right here. But like as a developer, these 5 points will completely change the game. And number 5 is stay flexible. For me, this means constantly staying on the challenge to stretch out areas in like your development role where it's like you're strong, but like how much can you take? And that's why I love going to hackathons, man. I think hackathons are a great experience to like really connect with people, because here I wrote like attending hackathons is a great way to be challenged in your skill, because it requires you to have knowledge and confidence in your skill. Like be confident, be fairly confident. It's like you don't have to be top of the range, but what you have right now is like as simple as you can build it. At this current point, if I had to take what I've learned in my second year of application development at CPUT, if I went to a hackathon, I'd let them know I'm like, okay, I'm pretty decent with JDBC, which is Java Database Connectivity, which translates into other areas because you don't have to use the Apache Derby database that we were using. You can also connect MySQL through the same driver method. It's very transferable because a lot of these aspects of development are like modular, especially APIs. Using APIs is like you taking one software and connecting it, but the way in which we do it, even in Python, even in Java, those are the languages I was familiar with or am familiar with. And I was like, okay, it follows the same set of procedures. And understanding that allows us to be creative in what we develop, because the creativity comes from solving solutions, building, developing. And that is what we're here for. But that is me. top five, just a quick recap. I'm gonna say number one, choose your stack, bro. Lock in on your stack. There's the MERN stack, MongoDB, ExpressJS, React, and Node.js. That's primarily a JavaScript framework, but like for Java, you would just have to learn Spring Boot, a backend query language like MySQL, and HTML, CSS, JavaScript if you want to go into front end or full stack applications. But back end is completely fine, dude. Like you don't have to subscribe to what is happening outside there. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's very valuable, but be good at what you want to be good at. And number two is learning how to network. Talk to her, bro. I struggle with that. It's free game. It's free game. Number three, map out your next steps. Number four, find a mentor. Number five, stay flexy. It's your boy.
Morgan Freeman is imploring you to drop a like and comment for this young brother's